I'm Okina Blue, and this is the Anime Roundtable, the stream edition, back after 10 days on this really cold Tuesday morning, January 27th. We're near the end of the first month of 2026. Good morning once again from 6 Points, 10 minutes south of the Anime North compound in Toronto's West End. Okay, this is a brief one today. I think it'll be a brief one. And when we say brief, we hope under an hour. We'll set the timer anyway. And really, I just want to come on briefly because, as you can see, some packages arrived. And we're still going with this setup that we kind of established 10 days ago or last weekend. And I'm once again experimenting a little bit with the new microphone, just for today anyway. Although I get the feeling I'll probably start using the boom mics again in the near future. The Shure still sits to the right, to my left. We'll see how it goes. Whoever's in the chat, thanks for popping by. Well, it's just Hero Harmony that looks to be lurking, who's always there by default. You know, the two sweetest words in the English language. Okay, as I said, you can see the packages behind me. There's a few other things in today's show and tell I want to do. Really, also some of this is to get a few things, talk about a couple things that caught my attention and everybody else actually in the last couple days. We're gonna get a little bit into that. Actually, let's get into that now because there's been actually a little bit of news over the last couple hours. So maybe that's actually worth bringing up. Let's go through that a little bit right now. Hollywood Reporter is mentioning actually. Oh, it's not this one. It's not this actually we want to bring up. It's, ooh. Well, that's actually at the heart of it. Yes, Netflix has talked a little bit more about a further partnership with Studio Mappa. You kind of saw some of this coming. That's not really the concern. I think a lot of this is, a lot of the concern is actually the stuff we talked about last episode about how much focus should producers be using a little bit more, should go with, or how much focus producers should make on drawing in a more of a Western audience. And I think it was mentioned during the partnership announcement that Mappa will try and focus a little bit more on reeling in Western fans, which is obviously contrary to what a lot of recent sentiment, especially headlined by Hideki Anno's words a month or so ago. As I said, I know we're going to talk a little bit more about this with James in the near future, and the others, or quite honestly. But as I said, it's just a difference in, the perspectives of artists, businessmen, and maybe and individual priorities, not necessarily of companies, but just of people as they. Of creatives as they go about. Who are they trying to aim for? What is their motivations as they tell stories? Maybe the upshot is, let's not cry wolf on this. Mappa has produced some excellent animation, and Jujutsu Kaisen is probably chief amongst them right now, among other things. There's always a wait and see, and this, as I said, this is always an evolving thing. But once again, my thought was always how much. I think anybody who says I don't want to focus too much on Western fans probably, and that Western fans will have to adapt to us, may not be giving much credit to to a good portion of our of overseas fandom, because a lot of them are there in the first place because of their interest in Japanese culture. I'm not going to say all, or even, well, who knows, but a sizable amount of fandom is there because it's Japan to start. So I don't think they have to worry about about Western fans adjusting, kicking, and screaming. They're in tune to it to start. At least a good chunk. I'm not sure the majority, but certainly sizable and certainly significant. But yeah, here's I guess one of the counterpoints to what we talked about in the last episode. I did want to bring up some news over the last couple hours because there was an unveil earlier today. Let's just let me bring that up right now. So there it is right there. I'm just going to try and close all the pop-ups. Netflix has done I guess an upfront, but they have talked a little bit about their upcoming stuff in Japan, the upcoming projects in Japan. So as the headline, as Hollywood Reporter has noted, 13 series, 8 anime titles. Those are some of them, but those are continuations, like the completion of Beastars, and you can see the list here. So there's a few more things, a couple of Japanese dramas. This is on Hollywood Reporter. So I just saw this within the last hour. I'm not gonna try to go too in detail about it, because I'm just still looking at it now. But there's a few series. There's a few live action series, as you can see. And a few anime series. So let's just go through that. So there's films, a couple of films, and I guess The Boyfriend Season 2. So a few unscripted items, as you can see. As I said, we're just going through this. And let's go through the anime. So let's go through the anime stuff. We'll talk more about the live action stuff. Some of that does get through some of my attention some other time. But just quickly going through the anime stuff that was mentioned in this junket earlier today. And really, it's stuff that's been previously announced. I think a lot of it has been previously announced, but I guess we're just starting to go with the full promotion since some of it's about to premiere, or has premiered. Fire Force season 3, that in the APAC region, that's launched, or that's already there, opened up. Love Through a Prism, the creator of Boys Over Flowers. So another. So Hana Yori Dango's creator has a new offering from and this is from Studio Wit. Cosmic Princess Kaguya. Yeah, Kaguya seems to be a popular word to use. That'll be that's already premiered as well. Baido, The Invincible Samurai. Okay, February 26th. That's so next month. Steel Ball Run, the latest in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We've mentioned this. We have brought this up, and with everything going on with Warner Brothers. There you go there. Beastars, right? We did mention that, and that's set for March later, so in a couple months. Ramparts of Ice, Sparks of Tomorrow, that's from KyoAni. So there's some of it. Live sports also figures into this into the upfront, because Netflix has the Japanese rights, has the Japanese broadcast rights to the World Baseball Classic in March. So there's a few things that they're up to. Keep in mind, they also have the Women's World Cup in North America. I believe certainly the U.S. I'm not sure in Canada. I'll have to double check that. So they're doing a little bit. They're going a little bit more into live sports stuff in the near future, but it's just event stuff. Yeah, one-shot events or event sports. So and they did do that Taipei 101 climb earlier on the weekend as well. But there's the upshot, maybe something worth perusing in the near future for you guys. Hollywood Reporter offering a few more details. I guess also rather quietly, it's also worth noting, Alice in Borderland, the live action, has been canceled, and that wasn't made known. That has happened rather quietly within the last week. So the third season premiered earlier this fall, but rather quietly in the last couple days, Netflix announced, or at least has revealed, they're not going to make any more of the live-action Alice in Borderland. So, sort of a contradiction. You sort of wonder where, like, anime, I guess, would still be a priority, but there is a dial back in terms of some content being churned out by Netflix. As I said, some of this is just coming through now, so it's just I'm still trying to wrap my heads around some of this. And we'll talk more about this, I know, in a future episode. Let me just save this because I know we'll talk about that. All right. Something else worth noting. Amy brought this up. Seemingly, the whole bit with Amazon and their AI. And the AI controversy from last month or a couple months ago, it's not over just yet. So it sounds like Amazon is trying to improve their AI. There had been a job listing posted to help out the AI-enabled dubbing capabilities, as noted in the article. This is on Games Radar, but apparently there was a posting to help enhance and improve their AI operations, and that was quietly removed after people actually noticed it was there. But so Anime Corner and Games Radar followed up on all of this. And the posting was to help out. What's the words here? Position requires a proven leader with deep expertise in creative direction, cross-cultural storytelling, and AI media innovation. That sounds like a very broad set of skills there. Ready to set new industry benchmarks for immersive, emotionally authentic international storytelling at scale. I guess that's the word. The last two words are probably the justification for all of this going on, at scale. So I guess the story won't go, well, it was never truly going to go away because AI is here to stay, but once again, we're still trying to wrap our hands around the whole thing, and maybe what the future holds and how it'll really have its place in society. Couple that with let me give a quick recommendation, a couple quick recommendations. Last week there was a story on NHK World. Let's play. Let's see if we can get away with playing some of this.
Late last year, a survey found that pirate websites carrying Japanese publications, mainly manga comics, now drive losses of about $55 billion a year. Researchers at anti-piracy organization Authorized Books of Japan, or ABJ, estimated that readers got through a pirated manga that would cost over $3 in just 30 minutes. Manga are sold direct to fans in both
I guess we
print
can't
and digital
show
editions.
the full
But the
screen.
people behind pirate sites can give the content away for free and still make advertising money, while the author and publisher see none of the profit.
This was on the NHK
Last
World
November,
website.
a major U.S. tech firm that provided data services
And
to
maybe
pirate
we'll put the
sites
link. We'll
was
put the link
ordered by
inside
a
the.
Japanese court
The link is
to
already
pay
on our
compensation,
X page.
a verdict that's currently under appeal.
I'm going to turn this down just
With
slightly,
piracy
but
posing a serious threat to Japan's manga culture.
yeah, we put this already on our X, so you can see this in full. But I'll put a pause on it now. But it's a 6-minute report. Always interesting when NHK, when the government broadcaster decides to do stories like this. So worth the time, and really nothing you haven't heard before. I think enough of us who keep up with this stuff. It's not stuff we've heard before. I know some of the reaction is $55 billion. Is that really the amount? Who knows, dude? Who knows what who knows where the right answer is on that? But yeah, there's who knows what the answer could really be on that. Oh, Maharaja Mac Daddy, coffee check. Oh yeah, well, okay, coffee check. Just water here. But that's about it. Okay. $55 billion, who knows if that's really the number. Watching a report like this, I always have mixed feelings about it because it talks about manga that hasn't had a release outside, or at least English releases, maybe even outside of Japan, outside of Japanese language releases. So we're talking about titles. So to me, sometimes there's a lot of talk about titles that don't even have a license outside of Japan at the moment. So I don't know. And I guess I couple this with the dilemma that's still in my heart right now, because I've admitted maybe I've been reading a lot of scans as well as of late, not just manga but light novels. That's an ongoing thing. As I said, worth a couple minutes of your time to read that and then debate it. But once again, maybe it also comes down to Hideki Anno, some of Hideki Anno's words at the very end in his little thoughts about adapting to Western audiences. Really, it's up to Japanese publishers and marketers to advertise a lot of these IPs and titles as they are outside of Japan. And this is a reflection, and this whole bit about manga piracy, I guess, is a reflection that there is demand, and maybe we have to and maybe there has to be some reconciliation over how to handle that overseas demand. As I said, maybe it's just early morning and my head is still in the clouds a little bit. So maybe I want to at least try and form a few more thoughts before we talk about this at length. However, there is one other on a happier note, and maybe I don't know how many know about this article that's presently out there. Rumiko Takahashi in the last week has been in the States. She was in San Francisco, I think over the weekend. Fred Shaw actually noted this. She was at an exhibition, and she was for a manga exhibition, and she was interviewed for the Furenken.com, which is a fan site dedicated to Takahashi herself, or it could be her. For all I know, this is her official website. I really don't. I don't totally know, but. Furenken.com published this interview with her, and she expressed her thoughts on various things in the manga in the whole manga world, and touched on some of the current issues. First of all, it's been about 25 years since she's been to the U.S. apparently, and the last time she was at San Diego Comic-Con. So much of the interview, um, a good chunk of the interview was talking about how much things have changed for her, and she's happy to see a lot of how things have improved for manga artists, and how well received manga works have been done, or how well received manga has been received, or how well regarded manga has been received in the last 25 years since she was last in the U.S. She talks about her current work. So Mao is her current project, and that's about to be done into an anime later this year. And they talked about her unchanging production rhythm. So much of her routine. We've talked about a funny part about her routine. Her routine seemingly hasn't changed. By the way, you don't see too many current pictures of her either. So it's kind of cool that to see her come out to the public. I guess the part that caught our attention, and once again comes down to a lot of what we've been talking about in the last number of months, AI. Once again, AI. And she had some really interesting comments according to the translation, and I'll quote what she said translated. AI learns from the past and creates data, but manga doesn't repeat what has been drawn in the past, but rather is a process of constantly thinking up new ideas. It may be that directors are different. I wish I could do it digitally, but I'm not quite up to speed. So I've never thought about it logically, she said. Perhaps it's because they depict universal aspects that make you think humans are still so foolish no matter how many years pass. So I think where she is on it sounded like, I got from her comments from this, yes, it can repeat what's been drawn in the past, but can it really, as the subheadline says, can it really create new things? So for as intelligent as AI has probably started to become, can it really be creative? I guess that's where she is on this, and I guess that's where many of us will be as well. But I thought her take on some of this, even if it's just a passing take. Well, when the master speaks, when one of the great masters speak in the industry, it is worth listening, even if it's just but a few words. Anyway, that's as much as what's on my mind this morning. And as I said, I'll probably form a few more thoughts, and these as James, Amy, Mo, and Kevin come back around the table, we'll talk about this a lot more. I know what's also caught Mo's attention over the last couple days, because he's into this stuff. Yeah, the Academy Awards, the nominations came out last week. Perhaps no surprise, no anime films were nominated. I know it's probably equal parts both not surprising and disappointing that no anime works were brought up. Good morning. Doesn't she have slaves and assistants that are chained to their desks? And I know I know Maharaja is referring to Rumiko. That's the interesting part. When we read about her routine and how she does things, it's never been mentioned if she's had any assistants. So you wonder if she's had if she really does things solo, right? You would think there's she does have some assistants, and maybe one article that talked about her routine actually brings that up. But it sounds like she does a lot of things a lot of the things with few people, if not solo. So and by all accounts, she like I would imagine if she has help and she has assistance, probably does okay. Probably treats them really treats them really well. I mean, we just talked about Studio Mappa a few minutes like earlier, and we know that there's issues. There have been known to be issues in their studios with borderline slave labor, I guess, or overworking. So, you know, yeah, it is. I mean, it's not when we bring up issues and questions like how do they treat their assistants and are they slaves? It's not totally a joke, because these are some serious questions, legitimate questions that have come up as we learned a little bit more about production of anime and manga. I'm not sure about light novels myself, which I wonder how we should feel about about fan translations of those. But anyway, that's still there. Okay, let's talk about what's behind me. We'll do a little show and tell, and then I'll talk about what's in the read and watch list, and then we'll call it a morning, because honestly, still got to get ready. I got to get ready for work as well, and maybe I'll talk about work. You see 3 packages behind me. Yes, I did order books, basically to plug holes in the collection right now. Some of it needs the box cutter, not all of it. I will note that the bottom package, and you'll know why in a few seconds, why I'm a little leery of eventually getting to that. But let's start opening some of this stuff. Once again, it is once again some sales, and I think also to plug holes in some of the stuff that has had my attention as of late. First one's from Amazon. I know what all of these are, and they are all based on my current watches. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah, padded nonetheless, but it is volume 4 of Days with My Stepsister. One of the cool parts about wearing the lapel mic is I can put this in front of my face and you can still hear me. Not sure how viewers should feel about that. By the way, good morning, Hero Harmony. I do see your message there. Actually, I'm curious to see if anybody's watching on the YouTube side. We are on YouTube again today, too. Seemingly not. Okay. Anyway, so volume 4 of Days with My Stepsister. We're continuing. I've gotten through 9 episodes of the anime, by the way. So really subtle, feels really abstract and very slow paced. It is. I really do think of it as fairly psychological in its pacing and its storytelling, and how it gets into the thoughts of its two main characters, of Saki and Yuta, because it's really much of the episodes is really diving into their feelings and their thinking. It's a lot of narration, but you don't really see too much in the way of them conversing, much less action, right? So it was a real interesting. It's been really interesting, and I do want to read it a little more. As we mentioned, Ghost Mikawa mentioned, as I mentioned 10 days ago, he mentioned, or Ghost mentioned, that it could go the better part of 20 volumes. That's what they envisioned. Once again, also to reiterate, Ghost Mikawa also talked about, well, I don't see a second anime season. It could be a matter of money, but just getting the people resources together to be able to do a proper production, at least a production, get many of the same people together to do the production the right way. I think a lot of them are. I think a lot of the production staff are focused on other stuff, like the next season of Rent-A-Girlfriend. Next one's coming up, I think, in the next quarter. I'll ask this now, and I'll probably ask again later on. How many hope, 1, Rent-A-Girlfriend ends soon, and 2, and this is for my own pleasure, Rent-A-Girlfriend ends much the same way as School Days. Anyway, it might be able to free up staff to do other projects, like a second season of Days with My Stepsister, or even better yet, Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, second package. Second package is from Indigo, with actual indigo markings on it. So, as I said, much of this is, by the way, stuff you already know of because I've had previous volumes from these titles already. And I think this is, yes, it is. Well, more Days with My Stepsister. So this is the latest volume that's come out in English, volume 6. So I ordered that as well. So basically my collection for that series is now complete. School days bored the hell out of me, LOL. Are you being sarcastic when you say that, Hero? Because I thought there was some real action at the very end. Okay. Anyway, so that basically fills in all of my Days with My Stepsister stuff. I should check where. I should check my other. Well, I honestly should check the rest of my book buying. I know that there was another book that recently came, but let me just check one other thing. Track packages. I'm just looking up my. There is maybe one more. I should double check in a bit. Anyway, nope, I watched half of it and hated it. Well, it can be, you didn't see the end, did you? You really should see the end. It might make up for a lot of it, actually. Okay. So nope, watched half of it and hated it. Okay. So volume of Days with My Stepsister. So 2 volumes of Days with My Stepsister have arrived. Should double check one last thing. There is one more thing that I was hoping to get, but I'll double check that in a bit. The last thing worth mentioning. Oh, actually, can you give me a second? Can you give me? Crap. I'm going to pick that up. I'll be right back. All right. Let's see. I only read about it. But I'm a strong believer that any show should be at least a little entertaining by the second or worst 4th episodes. It's the hook, I guess. The hook has to come really fast. That part I get. That's probably a lot of series, not just anime, though. We talk otherwise in the Western world, things get canceled really fast. You know my story. Maharaja says, you know my story. I used to torrent anime, and I got it confused with Clanad. Well, people died in that too, yes. Okay, one last box behind me, and then I'll show off one more thing, and then we'll call it a day. I realized there was one more thing that was recently delivered, but it's for now unaccounted for. I'll explain that a bit later on, or if I'm able to actually find it. Last one. This is always the interesting one because it's another Indigo package, but it was from the U.S. Therefore, it's on UPS, which means it wasn't packed by Indigo themselves, which means this could go a bunch of ways. So let's find out which way it's about to go. Well, to be fair, they put a lot of packaging, but I'm not so sure. 2 books. As I said, the first volume of Days with My Stepsister and volume 6 of The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. So there you go. Okay, that's the collection so far. Anyway, the volume 1 looks, well, maybe a bit of a dog-eared crease, but it's not a total disaster. This honestly speaking, take a look at that. It could be a little better. Oh boy, slightly. I can't win them all, I guess. Slight damage to this one. So I'll give this a B. I'll give this a B minus on the. At least it didn't stick to the box, but a B minus, I guess. Oh look, Hero Harmony loves Clanad. Then I got to the finale and I was like, what did I just watch? That must be how Clanad ended to you. Yeah. I don't know what else to really add to that. Oh look, we got some spam as well. Okay. All right. One other thing to mention, and then we'll call it. There is one thing I am missing. I'll have to find it. And we'll talk about it some other time. But there is one thing I am missing. So I do have to double. I should do a quick double check of that. Let me just make sure. Well, we'll double check it. We'll double check all of this a bit later on, okay? But it sounds like there's a lot going on. Whoa. Am I just seeing this? We just got, am I reading this correctly? Unfortunately, my headphones broke today because my naughty cat, so I can't hear your voice. It would be great if you could respond through chat instead. Arya _ James 3. We are now at 30 followers. Thank you. Thank you, Arya James. Is this somebody I know? I have to ask this. Is this somebody I know? But thank you so very much. Okay. Anyway, I do have one more thing to show, and then we'll call it a day. There is something else I do want to figure out a bit later on, but we'll worry about that a bit later. Okay. Couple days ago, yeah, Seesaw Motor, yeah. At Anime Roundtable. Yes, okay, Aria James. First of all, you found us at Anime Roundtable. Thank you so much. I'm wondering, is this somebody I know? I'm just wondering if this is someone I know. Is it somebody I know? Aria, have we met? Aria James 3, have we met before? I'm wondering if this is who I think it is, but I don't think it's our James, but I'm not totally sure. But thank you. We are now at 30 followers. So we after how many years? After almost a year, we finally reached our 30th follower. So that means a lot to me, actually. Now that it's happened. So we still have some decisions to make, like what to do about the how to assemble the Optimus. But yeah, GZ, yeah. What does GZ stand for? This is my old side talking one more time. Anyway, yeah, 30 followers. That, as I said, for a small group like this one, that means quite a bit actually. So thank you so very much for the follow. Gundam Zone, LOL. Nice work. My lazy way to congratulate. Thank you. Well, as I said, that's. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the follow. So we are now at, well, we're back at 29. It says we did have 30 followers. I guess somebody unfollowed us. Gee, thanks a lot. But I'm gonna put that, which means I don't have to show this anymore. All right. Last thing to show off, and then we'll call it a day. So once again, I think our list puts us once again at 29 followers. But yeah, well, I'm trying to respond through the chat as soon as I see stuff on it. Anyway, last item I got to show off is a figure. The figure stuff will continue to get, but you're up 1 minute and down the next on Twitch. Yes, I am. What can you do? Oh, Animathis Lilac, why would someone unfollow just to ruin the celebration? Well, what can you do? Well, let me check one more time. We are at 29 followers. Oh, well. But 4 are in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. Anyway, okay, one last thing I want to show off. Went on a bit of a buying spree on Friday. Bought a couple of items. Some of it's not really related, but one, or a Facebook shopping spree, more like it. Went downtown, bought one, picked up one item, got another. Yeah, just picked up some electronics items. But then in the evening, somebody nearby here actually put up a posting for a figure. And the price was right, so I decided to get that. It is used, it has been opened, it's made by the Good Smile Company. It's a figure of Suzume. Yeah, it's Suzume from the movie of the same name, the main character in Makoto Shinkai's most recent film. And yeah, it's her holding the chair. I don't know how many people got the reference. I don't know how many people got the reference with the chair being three-legged, right? Because to me, it's a clear reference to Japanese mythology and the three-legged crow that dots the Genesis story for Japan, right? Being the guide of the first emperor of Japan and representative of the sun goddess, right? the Yagaretsu, I believe it's called. It's a symbol that you also see on the Japanese national soccer team's jerseys too. So, but there. Let's let me just put that in. Let me just put this on the stand. Oh, you have no idea about the three-legged crow? Look that up. Look that up, Hero. It's kind of an interesting way to put it. I'm going to put this over here, and we'll end it off. Okay, I got some searching to do, because maybe I've lost a little bit of track. There was one more book I knew I should have had, but I've kind of lost track, so maybe I have to try and get back on track. And as I said, it is late enough. We got some stuff to do today. Not much really to mention on the read and watch list. I have gotten past episode 2 now of Demon Slayer's Hashira training arc, so I'll be continuing. I'll try to continue that on the commute today. Days with My Stepsister. I had been watching that on the anime side. Light novel wise, still continuing Otonori Asobi. Life Reversal, Jinsei Gwakuken. I finished the fan translation of volume 3 of the light novel earlier today, actually. So that's there. Lots still going on. Yeah, and I'm in the middle. As I said, I'm in the middle of finish the first chapter of volume 3 of Otonori Asobi as well. That's a translation, and once again, coming back to the whole bit on the whole bit on piracy and stuff. I have mixed. I do. There is some guilt with reading those translations there. I like those stories, and those are just ones I would read. I would love to continue. Raja, James, Hero, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out for just a little bit. Thanks for helping me wake up. So as I said, just something I gotta figure out a few other things and find a few other things, and then I will get back to you, and hopefully I can get some other stuff. Hopefully I can find out the questions on one last thing, and then I'll get back to all of you in a few days. Hopefully we can get one final recording done before the end of this month. We are long past quota for January anyway, but we didn't. But it's all been mainly streams in one main episode. I'm hoping to do a space heater with one of the others, and maybe talk about some of the stuff we just talked about here, and get their take, whether it's James, Amy, Kevin, or Mo on some of the headlines over the last week, and even in the last 24 hours. But as I said, Netflix had some interesting things over the last couple hours, unveiling their Japanese slate. World Baseball Classic might be the most interesting highlight, since they got the rights to that. And quietly, they did cancel the Alice in Borderland live action. So there you go. Catch you on the flip side. Yeah, Murhaj, thanks for hanging out as always, and thanks for the wishes on a good commute. Hopefully, it won't be nearly as traumatic as the last couple days. It's cold. It's been snowing. It's calm right now. Hopefully the subways will be working in full today. But a thought there. Anyway, that's as much as I got. Let me go check the mail. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down below. If you're seeing this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. And who knows, maybe a subscription. Do me a favor, subscribe on YouTube, a follow on Twitch, so we can get back up to 30. A bookmark wherever you get your podcast, so you know where whenever we do something on any of those platforms. And hopefully I can do a video game soon. Anyway, I'm going to go check the mail. I will catch you hopefully on the weekend. Have a great Tuesday. Stay warm. Stay bundled up. Stay safe. because I know it's not just Toronto. I know there was something happened I know there was a big storm in the US as well. Stay safe wherever you're watching this. And hopefully, once again, I will see you just as the month ends. Good night, or have a good day.